Shalom. Before I begin, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakdash. I'd like to say double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone, that rule well and teach well. And also Shalom and salutations to the hopeful elect out there that's preaching and teaching this word and truth and sincerity. So this lesson that I'm going to be getting into today, is going to be a lesson going into what it means to be baptized, because when that word is thrown around, to be baptized, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Being thrown in water, and then especially in these churches, like the Christian church, being thrown in water and coming out a new person, accepting who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, which his name is not Jesus first and foremost. His name is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai, that's his real name in the Hebrew, and his father's name is Yahweh. You see, but they do it ignorantly, not knowing the name of the Lord. So they would throw you in water and then pull you out, and all of a sudden, you've been accepted, into the kingdom of heaven, quote unquote. That's their perception of it. That's what they think when baptism or that word baptized is thrown around, man. But that's not the true understanding of what being baptized means in the scriptures, man. That also proves that the Christian church, they don't understand the Bible. The understanding of the Bible was not given to them, you see, but it was given to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, beginning with them. The Lord chose them to have the full understanding of the scriptures, and that's why, I started off the video by giving double honors to them, acknowledging that they are the men whom the Lord Yahweh and Yahweh Shai chose to give the full understanding of the scriptures to, and then teach other men that were under them, and so on and so forth and so on, until me, it trickled down all the way to me. You see? So what is the true understanding of baptism, or to be baptized? You see? So that's what I'm going to get into. And I'm going to begin with this right here in Matthew 23 and verse 25. Because to be baptized, is to be cleaned, right? Matter of fact, let me look up that word baptized. Baptized, it says baptized. This is in the regular Google definition. It says baptize, past participle, baptize, administer baptism to someone, Christian, immerse, sprinkle, illustrate, immerse. Yep. So immerse. Let's look up that word immerse, which is one of the words for baptize, right? The similar words. It says immerse, dip or submerge in liquid. So to be baptized is for you to be dipped or submerged or immersed in liquid. You see? So that's the definition of baptized, right? So when you dip something or you submerge something in liquid, especially water, what are you doing? You're cleaning it, right? You're basically cleaning that thing because it's dirty. And that's what baptism is symbolic for. It's symbolic for cleaning a particular object. In this case, it would be a person. You see? When a person is dipped in the water and pulled out, that's basically a form of them being cleaned, quote unquote. That's what the Christian church says, right? That's their interpretation of it, but that's not the true interpretation of what it means to be baptized in the scriptures. That's a form of it, right? There's nothing wrong with being baptized physically, but the point being is that to be baptized is not being baptized or being cleaned or submerged or dipped in water physically. It's spiritually, it's inwardly, man. You know, you have to clean your insides, you know, your mindset, the way you think. That has to be altered. That has to be immersed and dipped in water and cleaned that way, man. But how does that work? You know, that's what I'm going to get into in the lesson, you know. So, first and foremost, let me start with Matthew 23 and verse 25. It says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess." So this is our Lord Yahweh Shai. This is Yahweh Shai, you know, basically cussing out the scribes and Pharisees, the wicked ones, man. You know, basically calling them hypocrites. Why? Because they made clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, you know, but within are full of extortion and excess. So what did Yahweh Shai mean by this? What did the Lord mean by that the scribes and Pharisees, they were hypocrites because they made clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they're full of extortion and excess. You know, the Lord meant this means that the Pharisees and scribes, you know, the wicked ones, they what they did was they basically made themselves look clean outwardly, you know, so they would have a particular apparel or appearance about them, you know, by wearing particular apparel, by looking clean, looking like, you know, they're righteous. You know, they might have had a white, all white garments. You know, they appeared like they were righteous. They appeared like they were clean and pure and innocent. You know, outside, you know, outwardly, that's how they appeared. You know, looking outside, looking in, man. If you were somebody standing on the outside and looking at them, you would think, oh man, these men are the gods. You know, the Lord is completely dealing with these men. These men are because of the way they look outwardly, man. You know, but Yahweh Shai could see through them. You know, but what some people get caught up in that illusion of, oh, this guy looks like this, so he must have, you know, he must have this, he might be, you know, he looks like this. That means he's this and that. You know, some people cast judgments based off the outward appearance. That's my point. And scriptures teach us not to what cast judgments based off a person's outward appearance, man. Because a person may appear to be righteous or to look kind, but what is going on behind their head? You know, what's inside? What is their thought process? What's, you know? And this is the case with the Pharisees. They look like they were righteous. They look like the Lord was dealing with them outwardly, but inside, what? But within, full of extortion and excess, man. I believe if you go into that word extortion, I'm gonna look at it, look it up real quick. Extortion, it says to the act of plundering, robbery, plunder, spoil. When you look up that word plundering, to take the goods of by force, a pilot sack to take by force or wrongfully, to make extensive use of as by plundering, right? So basically taking goods by force, you know, or finesse, man, or robbery, man. They were basically robbing the people, you know. That's what that word extortion mean. They were exhorting the people, man, as well as excess, doing things to what? To benefit yourself, man. Doing things based off your love. Matter of fact, based off your lust. Matter of fact, let's look up that word excess too. Excess. Want of self-control, incontinence, and temperance, man. So this was what was going on behind their heads, man, in their minds, while they presented an image of themselves being clean, being righteous, you know. But Yahweh Shai is here calling them out for that, man. Let me get another quick precept real quick. You know, just this is Ecclesiasticus 10. It's like Ecclesiasticus 11 and verse 2. It says, "Command not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance," man. You know, so in this case with the scribes and Pharisees, you shouldn't command them for their beauty, you know, for the way they looked or appeared outwardly. Because what? You still haven't tried their spirit. You still haven't spoken to them. You still don't know what goes on behind their heads or in their minds. You know, so you shouldn't command a man for his beauty. That's what it's talking about. You shouldn't command a man because of the way he looks, because of the way he appears outwardly. You see, it says, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance, you know. On the contrary, too, because you can have a man that's poor, that looks beat up, you know, that looks defeated, that looks, you know, just destroyed, that has ripped clothes, shoes, you know, his feet is showing through his shoes, doesn't, is not wearing socks, you know, his hair's nappy. But what, that person could be an angel in disguise, you know? Because angels like to do that. They like to appear, you know, when they appear in the physical, they appear like rugged, man, almost rugged, to throw you off, man. You know, that's why in Hebrews it says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for some have entertained angels unawares, man, roughly paraphrasing. Because you might get thrown off by how a person looks outwardly. He might look rugged, and you disrespect that person. You might, you know, say a particular thing, or you know, shrug the shoulder. But that could be, you know, you don't know who that could be. Oh, they also do that with YouTube, these YouTube videos, man. You know how they catch these girls, man. You know, these gold diggers, these, you know, these women. They catch them. Because what, the man, he disguises himself as a what, as a poor person, you know, wears some beat up clothes, beat up shoes, you know, might look rough, and he try to talk to the girl, to the woman, and then she what does she do? She shrugs him off, man. You know, and after she shrugs him off, what happens? After a little bit, you know, after he gets shrugged off, he goes in the car, an expensive car, a Lamborghini, and all of a sudden the girl wants to turn back and try to talk to him again, man. You know, but just thinking to the point, you know, you shouldn't command a man for his beauty, neither should you abhor him for his outward appearance. So that shows you the both sides, right? So with the Pharisees, don't, you know, with the point I'm making here with Matthew 23, with the scribes and Pharisees, the wicked ones, man. You know, because you also had righteous scribes and Pharisees, right? With the wicked scribes and Pharisees, you shouldn't commend them right away for their outward appearance, because in this case, if you did, you know, you would be basically commending hypocrisy, because they're being hypocrites, man. They're portraying themselves to be one way, which they're completely another, man. Right? Verse 26, it says, thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, the that the outside of them may be clean also. You see, so what did Yahushua tell them? He said, yo, you know, what you need to do is clean first the inside of the cup and platter. You see? And what did the Lord mean by the inside? Meaning the mind, the inward. You know, the way you thought, your thought process, your thinking. You need to clean that first. You need to change that mindset first, that the outward will be cleaned also. Because scriptures speak about how that when a person starts, when his inside, the way he thinks, you know, his inward starts changing, you know, that's gonna show forth through his outward, man. If I could find that precept, and I could bring it out, uh Slack, bear with me. That's in where's um, Salakia, bear with me. Khan, Khan. This is how about Shah. This is Ecclesiasticus 37 and verse 17. It says the countenance is a sign of changing of the heart. You see, so the countenance, what? Your countenance is your appearance. You know your outward appearance. So when your countenance starts changing, you know, that's because what? Your mindset, your heart, which that word heart in the Hebrew is lab, meaning mind. You see, so when it says the countenance is a sign of changing of the heart. So when you change your mindset, you start your mindset starts being altered by the spirit of the Lord, and by Yahweh's words. That's gonna show forth through your what? Through your countenance, through your outward appearance. That's gonna be seen outwardly, man. You know. Oh, scriptures also speak about how that wisdom, wisdom maketh a man's face to shine, man. You know. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. This is Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 1. It says, "Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed," man. So what? A man's wisdom. So when you start gaining knowledge, or in other words, when you start what? Indulging in the scriptures, you start, getting into the scriptures, you start being inspired by the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai, that's actually going to show, outwardly. You see, it might not be seen by brothers who are with you all the time, right? But it could be seen by somebody that's from the outside, man. Because it's the same like a household. If you grow up with brothers and sisters, you're not going to see a change in them. Why? Because you're with them all the time. That change is being renewed every time. Your eyes are being refreshed to their change daily. But let's say like a person like a cousin who might not have seen your brothers or sisters in a while, when they see them, they could be like, "Oh, this person is wow," all of a sudden you got tall, or whatever, man. You see? So when your mindset has begun to change, and completely begun to be inspired by the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai, that's gonna show forth outwardly, man. And that's what Yahweh Shai meant by what? Thou blind Pharisee. Matthew 23 and 26, it says, "Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean." So when you clean when you clean the inside of the cup, the outside is gonna just naturally become clean. Now it's gonna show forth, through outwardly. Verse 27, it says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead man's bones, and of all uncleanness. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity," man. You see, so the Lord was cussing out the wicked scribes and Pharisees because their whole mode of operating, man, their whole thing was that, oh yo, they appeared outwardly to be righteous, and they appeared beautiful, and it looked like, yo, the Lord was completely dealing with these men because of how they looked outwardly. But inside, they were full of dead man's bones, man, and uncleanness and wickedness, because their mindset was wickedness. The things they did was wickedness, because everything that you do begins with a thought, right? Begins with a thought. You think it first before you do it, and their thought process was wicked, man. You see, and Yahushua was not pleased with that, man. You see, once again, because they weren't baptized, they weren't submerged in water. You see, this is what it means to be baptized, man. This is what it means to be submerged in water. You have to be cleaned inwardly by the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, by these words, man. Your mindset has to change. You see? So let's go from there to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 21. It says, "Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?" So once again, this is referring to the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel being the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today. Those are their modern terminologies. You see, they were planted a noble vine. They were planted as a royalty, man, a seed of royalty, a righteous seed. But over time, through process of time, because of disobedience, we became a degenerate plant, man. Of a strange vine unto the Heavenly Father, man. We fell away from that nobility. That's what it's talking about, man. We fell away from being a right or a righteous seed. See? Because if you look at the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, they're not noble. They don't look noble. We don't look noble, man. We don't look like, it's so bad to the point where you can't picture us being in rulership. You can't picture us being royal. The only thing that comes to mind when you hear so-called, especially the so-called black man, the Southern Kingdom, when their name is brought up, it's NBA, being the best entertainers, just, down bottom, man. They're not thought of to be rulers. You see, and that's them. Right now, we're witnessing the degenerate plant, man, at an all-time high right now. Verse 22, it says, "For though thou wash thee with nitrate, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, said the Lord power," man. So, what is my point on this? My point is that, so physical baptism, right? As we read in Matthew, you have to be clean inwardly, man. So this basically proves that you don't need physical baptism. That's not the important thing, man. The important thing is the spiritual baptism. That's what I'm trying to get at, man. I'm trying to prove. You see? Because in Matthew 23, we read that if, the outward does not make you righteous, being outwardly clean. And what's another form of being outwardly clean? Is through dipping yourself in water and being pulled out. You see? How you tie that up to Jeremiah 2 and 22 is that it says what? "For though thou wash thee with nitrate and take thee much soap." So even though you clean yourself, no matter how many times you dip yourself in that water and pull yourself out, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord power. You see? So you cleaning yourself outwardly is not going to do you justice. That's not what's important. What's important is that you clean the inside, because you can get dipped in water and come out, and all of a sudden everybody sings hallelujah and pray, clap their hands, in the congregation, but that same day you could commit adultery. So what changed? You know, what changed? Nothing changed, because you were still committing adultery. Most likely, before you what? Before you were dipped in the water, you probably doing some mad, eating pork. You see, but eating pork, man. But then you get dipped in that water. That same moment you get dipped in the water at that end of that sermon, what do you do? And I'm talking about the Christian church. What do you do? You go eat pork. So what changed, man? Nothing changed. That's why it's important to be spiritually clean, to be washed inwardly, spiritually in your mind. You see? All right. So let's go from there. Um, Let me see where I want to go. This is Khan. Khan. So this is John 3 and verse 1. And it reads, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. You see, so Nicodemus was also a Pharisee, but was he wicked? No. Because he knew that, he knew who Yahushua was, and he came to Yahushua for answers, man. He acknowledged who Yahushua was. And that's what the other wicked scribes and Pharisees had a hard time accepting, is acknowledging who Yahushua was, man, and acknowledging Yahushua's power. You see? So once again, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from Yahweh, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest except Yahweh be with him. You see, so this right here proves that Nicodemus was not wicked, because he knew who Yahushua was, man. He understood, who Yahushua was. He acknowledged Yahushua, and not only Yahushua, but he acknowledged Yahweh as well, man. You see? Which is what these other wicked scribes and Pharisees had a hard time doing. Verse 3, it says, Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of Yahweh. Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born again when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? So Yahushua was basically telling Nicodemus that you won't be able to see the kingdom of the Heavenly Father Yahweh except you be born again. And what did Yahushua mean by you needed to be born again? You see, meaning you needed a reset. In other words, for lack of better terms, you needed a reset. You needed to be refreshed. And how do you become refreshed, or how do you become born again, or washed? Because babies, what do? They come out of water. You see, they're nursed with water, man, in the mother's belly. You see, water and blood. You see? So let's read on. Verse 4 says, Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahushua answered, Verily I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, you must be born again. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh, and whither it goeth. So it's everyone that is born of the Spirit, man. You know, so Yahushua said what? Yahushua was telling Nicodemus basically that, you know, you have to be born again by what? By water and of the Spirit. And what is this water and the Spirit that the Lord is talking about? He's talking about his words, the words of the scriptures, you know, in particular the words of Yahushua, because these words are an embodiment of Yahushua. It says what? Lo, I come in the volume of the book. That's what the Lord said. He comes in the volume of the book. So every word of the scriptures is Yahushua. Oh, he also told who? His disciples uh, to eat them, basically. You know, that's when the many got sifted. You know, when they were offended, when the Lord said, eat me, you know, take, you know, bread of my bread, which is symbolic for him, you know, which is really symbolic for these words, man. You know, so matter of fact, let me get this real quick just to prove what I said. This is on John 6 and verse 63. It says, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. You see, so the words that Yahushua speaks, this is the spirit. And this is what brings you to life. This is what makes you become born again. You see? You see how it all comes together? You know, so these words are what cleans you. These words are what changes your mindset. You know, you see this doctrine, basically, man. You see, but you have to find the right doctrine. You have to find the right teachers. You have to find the right way, because there's many ways, but Yahushua said there's only one way, which is him. You see? So it is the spirit that quickeneth. It is the spirit that brings to life. That's what that word quickeneth means when you look into it. It means bring to life. The flesh profited nothing. So, you know, the flesh doing anything fleshly or carnally, like dipping you into water and pulling you out, that's not going to do anything. But it's the spirit that has to what? Bring you to life. It's the words that Yahushua speaks onto us. And you see, the words, they are spirit and they are life. It's this the words of Yahushua, man. That's what brings you back to life. That's what makes you born again. The words of Yahushua. That is what baptizes you, man. The words of Yahushua, man. So this was what Yahushua was talking about when he was telling Nicodemus that you have to be born again. You have to be born again by the Spirit. Which the Spirit are these words, man, as we read in John 6. You know, it is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So these words of Yahushua are what brings you to life. These words of Yahushua are what makes you born again. These words of Yahushua are what submerges you and dips you in that water, you know, and cleans your inwards. It's through these words, man. You see, through the understanding of the scriptures, through the, you know, the pure understanding of the scriptures, man. It's that pure water. That's why the scriptures, you know, I believe that's when Yahushua spoke to the woman, John 4, to the woman in Samaria, you know, he spoke about that water, man. That water that brings you to life, that will make you never thirst again, man. You know, and that water is these words, man. See? So, matter of fact, let me get a couple precepts proving that these words are referred to water as well, which water is a cleansing agency. Matter of fact, before I get that, let me get this. Romans 12, and verse 2. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So this is how you get baptized. This is the real baptism. This is the spiritual baptism. You being baptized by what? The Spirit and water. You see, by you what? Being transformed in your mind. That you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. So it's not a physical baptism, but it's a spiritual baptism of what? Your mind being transformed by these words, which ultimately they clean your mind as well. All right. So let's go from there to Psalms 119 and verse 9. It says, "Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word." So this is how you completely clean your way. Because a carnal baptism, being physically dipped in water, is not going to completely clean you. It's only going to clean your outward. Because you can still get dipped in water and go commit or sin, and do something wicked. But if you're cleaned inwardly, then you're clean. You've been renewed, you've been refreshed. Your thought process has been altered. So the things you used to think, you don't think anymore. The things you used to do, you don't do anymore. And that's what Yahushua required. You see? So you taking heed onto the words is what's gonna clean you. You see? So let's go from there to Ephesians. Ephesians 5 and verse 26. That ye might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. You see? So this is what cleans you, man. The words of Yahweh Shai. Matter of fact, let me get one more. John 15. John 15 and verse 3. It says, "Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you," man. You see, so it's these words that cleans us, man. And these words, if you are attached to that vine, which is Yahweh Shai, daily you're gonna be refreshed. Daily you're gonna be renewed. Daily you're gonna be cleansed. The outward man is gonna perish, but the inward man is gonna be renewed day by day. It's gonna be refreshed day by day. It's gonna be cleaned day by day, man. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I hope it made sense what the Spirit was trying to express. It makes sense that carnal baptism is not necessary, but what's more important is spiritual baptism. The spiritual baptism, man, of you being renewed by what? The Spirit. That's what's more important. Your mindset being changed, man. Your inward man being changed. That's what's the most important, man. So I want to say, Call Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Ruach for putting the Spirit upon me and inspiration to do this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. And until next time, Shalom.